Hi, I'm Kato. I'm an artist and musician, and for many years I was a doctor in accident and emergency. As well as working as an artist these days, I also spend a lot of time working with doctors one-to-one on their well-being and careers. In this video, I would like to speak to any doctors who are currently experiencing a crisis and are perhaps feeling suicidal. If this applies to you, it doesn't matter what you've done, who you are and where you've been. I'm really sorry you feel this way. I understand you probably can't even be asked to listen to me, so I promise I'm going to try not to feed you a bunch of empty platitudes you've probably heard a million times before. I'm just going to make a few simple points. The first thing I want to say to you is that you're not alone. As doctors, we always have to have the answers, don't we? Everything rides on our shoulders all the time. We're walking those wards alone, we're stuck in those clinic rooms alone, making big decisions, and that's a very rewarding professional responsibility. But it's a mistake to try and apply that attitude to life. It's a mistake to think we have to figure life out by ourselves, to shoulder all its burdens alone. It took me a long time to learn that. Rare is the doctor who doesn't go through periods of feeling lost, inadequate and confused. I know I pretty much spent my whole first year as a doctor feeling that way. I'm working with a lot of doctors at the moment on exactly these issues. Doctors across all grades, from junior to senior, people who probably look like they're keeping it all together really well, but deep down secretly feel exactly the same as you. So you can take it from me when I say that you're not alone. I'm telling you you're not. The second point I want to make is that you're not a failure. You're not weak for having difficult emotions or for wondering whether you just had enough. You're just a normal human being going through a hard time. Please try not to judge yourself for the emotions that you're having. Doctors are very hard on themselves, and now is not the time for that. You know, we see so much pain, death and suffering in our job. We're immersed in it so much that we come to think it's normal, and it's not normal at all. There's never any time for us to process what we see and experience, but deep down we feel all of it, don't we? We really do. Whether you're aware of it or not, that stress, that strain, that pressure, it takes its toll on us. It has a way of creeping up on us until it becomes an almost chronic state of living. I remember that feeling very well. I also remember feeling in my first year in particular that there was no one I could really turn to discuss these matters, and sadly, looking back, I think I was right. Emotional, psychological support within the profession is basically non-existent. There's no one looking out for doctors, and this needs to change. On top of that, there's life, isn't there? Good old life outside of work with its curveballs and its difficulties and its obstacles. Perhaps in your personal life, you're experiencing a great loss as well. Something that feels like it's too hard to bear, something that's knocked you for six. I know that feeling too. I've been there. It's okay. Please give yourself the compassion you deserve at this time. The third thing I want to say is that if you're in a serious position, if you're in a crisis, then it needs to be taken seriously. You shouldn't even be trying to do this alone. You need support. Community, love and support are basic human needs that we need to provide for ourselves. They're as vital as oxygen, food and shelter, and we're so bad at giving them to ourselves. Now more than ever, you need those things. You need connection. If you're still watching this, the chances are that there's a tiny fragment of you that wants to make it through this. And if you do want to make it through this, the first step on the road to recovery is to realize and accept that we need help now. The good news is you don't have to figure this out. You don't have to try and figure out how you get through this ordeal. No, that's too much. You just need to do one thing and one thing only, and that's reach out to one person today. If that's a professional, that's fantastic, but it doesn't have to be. What I'm saying is think of someone you can confide in, perhaps a friend, a family member. I always turn to my sister. She's always my first go-to person. Someone you can confide in, and the important thing is just to concentrate your energy on telling them how you really feel without editing it or judging yourself. If you feel ashamed, if you feel embarrassed, that's fine, tell them that too. The point is that just for today, you're going to share with another human being how you really feel. You don't have anything to lose by doing so. Having said all of this, I understand and respect that what I'm saying, simple as it is, may feel like too much of a stretch and you may not be interested. As I say, I understand and respect that. And so I'm going to just say one more thing, which is that when we're lost, when we're scared, when we're sad, we're in the dark. And when we're in the dark, we can't see straight and we can't hear. And when we can't see, we're not necessarily in the best place to make decisions. And you know I'm right on that point at least. There's nothing outlandish or Pollyanna about that, it's just simple common sense. Ask yourself, does a decision have to be made today? Am I really in a fit state to make a judgment call? Is it really true that you want to end your life? Or is it more that you're just really hurting and that you're lost? There's an important difference between the two. If you've listened to me for this video, when you don't feel like it at all, I want to end by saying thank you so much for giving me your time. Personally, I believe that everybody deserves a fulfilling career and a life that nourishes them. I want that for you too. May you be well.